Hello everyone and welcome back to Mossy Pine Ranch at Elmcreek. We have reached episode number 15 and are now in October. Our soybean is ready to harvest. It's looking a nice golden colour. So that is going to be the focus for today. Last time we bought this lovely trailer, the lizard trailer, which helped shift our silage. And we also prepped the sorghum field. We had to mulch it, cultivate it, and lime and fertilise it. And we've had a flurry of weeds since yesterday, or the last month. So yeah, we're going to have to get that direct drilled, and that will clear the weeds and put our new crop in. But we're going to have to harvest the soybeans today and then repeat all of the preparation steps that we did to the sorghum field, but to the soybean field. But I have a plan to use some help from some helpers today, and that will help speed up the job. But first of all, I am just getting some equipment prepped that we are going to need, and it's so we can have multiple farmers running on the field whilst we harvest. So I'm going to do the harvesting, and then I'm going to ask some helpers to do the mulching and cultivating. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, just getting the cultivator in best position for now, which I think is along the straight edge here. And I'm going to nip in the John Deere and get the mulcher. Right, let's grab the mulcher, and I've dropped the drawbar off. We're not going to need that for the mower. Right, so that's the two tractors lined up and ready to go when we can get our workers set and going. Now to jump in the harvester. Right, so let's head off. I've got the trailer there, which I'm going to leave there so I can deposit as I'm working my way around. I'm going to do a couple of headlands just to give myself enough space, especially on the other end of the field. And once I've done some headlands, I'll break into some rows, at which point we can then set the mulcher and the cultivator off to follow. But I will have to leave a good enough gap, as the mulcher and cultivator will probably work quite a bit faster than we can in this harvester. But the CLAAS is doing a good job. It's worked pretty hard on this farm so far. So yeah, let's get these lovely soybeans all harvested. We won't be able to sell the soybeans as the price is pretty low this time of year. So the thought is we will just get it in the silo, and I think June time is when the best price is. So yeah, come June, I know that's quite a bit away yet, but come June we'll be able to sell it and get the best price. And I think the price difference is quite considerable. I think around now it's about £1,000 or just over for 1,000 litres, but in June it gets up to sort of £3,000, so yeah, definitely worth holding out for. But a rather misty autumnal morning on the farm, and it's nice to be harvesting this big field. Feels a long time ago since we drilled it now, so nice to have it being all collected up. So yeah, I'm going to work around the headlands, then break into the rows, and then I'll see about getting our other helpers started with the mulching and cultivating. So I'm going to see to that, and I'll see you once we've done the job. all done. So that's the last bit of soybean harvested. We can turn the harvester off and get the pipe out so we can go and deliver the last 338 litres into the tank. And yeah, the trailer's not looking too full. I maybe estimated how much yield I was going to get. Probably could have used the smaller CLAAS trailer, but nice to use our new one. And as you can see, our helpers are busy underway mulching and cultivating. I think there's enough of a gap between them. We're not going to run into each other, hopefully. I have just noticed that the cultivator helper has missed a couple of spots up the top on either side, so I'm going to have to tidy that up, and no doubt the mulching helper has missed a few bits as well. If we take a quick look at the map, we can see that we've got the harvested ground being mulched. Now, it doesn't look like the soybeans leave a great deal of stubble, but it does actually contribute towards the mulching. You can see that it's all purple and mulched there. And then our cultivator is doing a good job of getting the ground nice and ready for us to drill. Alright, so we can get the header dropped off. And I am going to wash the CLAAS Dominator and also probably service it up. And the reason for that is, as it is the end of the season and we've harvested all that we're going to harvest, I think I'm going to sell the CLAAS Dominator for two reasons. One is we need some funds to buy a decent seed drill, but I am going to buy a planter actually, not a seed drill, and I'll show you which one later. But yeah, we need to buy that, so we need some funds for that. And B, it would be nice next harvest season that we have a newer and bigger harvester to do the job. So let's get this all repaired up. Okay, that doesn't need repairing. So we'll give it a nice wash so it's all clean, so the dealership knows it's been looked after, and hopefully will give us a good price for it. So our helpers are busy away mulching and cultivating. They should finish by the time we are back from the dealership. But for us, it's the drive to the dealership to go and sell our CLAAS Dominator. I am sad to be selling it, but we have to keep pushing forward and upgrade as we go. It's been a worthy farm friend. It did the harvesting of the crops that were there when we purchased the ranch, and it also harvested our first crops that we grew, so our sorghum and our soybean, and it's done a terrific job. So time to sell it and pass it on to another farm that needs it. So let's get this sold. So 43,000 I think for the harvester, 663 for the trailer, and 5,688 for the header. But that is our harvester sold, and I look forward to next harvest when we can look to invest in a bigger one. We should have more money then from all of our silage proceeds. Okay, so I am going to buy a planter, I mentioned. I was debating whether to get a seed drill or a planter, but I have found a very good planter that is going to do the job of both a seed drill and a planter. It is my good old friend, the Great Plains. Now, we have used this in FS19, and it is good because it can do all the crops that a seed drill can. So your wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, and soybean. And then it can also do some of the crops from a planter. So corn, sunflowers, sugar beet, and cotton. So here it is, the Great Plains, and we can get a trailer or a 3-point attachment. We're going to get the trailer, so let's buy that. I have had to borrow some money from the bank. There it is, our new planter. And I'm going to have to pop back to the farm to then get the tractor, which should be finished by now. So let's go take a look. Oh dear, seems I left the trailer in the way, so that's not a problem. We'll just stop the helpers and I will finish off the job. But thank you for your work today, guys. It's been very good. Let's get this switched on, lowered, and we can do the last bits ourselves. Right, that's all mulched, so I can get this dropped off and then finish up the cultivating. Right, and now we can see to the cultivating and tidy up the bits that the helper missed. Seems like the worker didn't like these little strips here, but handily we can just go the other way and clear them up. And on the other side, it is difficult using helpers, as they sometimes go about it differently to how I would do it. I would most certainly sometimes do a headland, like I did 2 for the harvesting, and if I was then following up with the mulching and the cultivating, I would then do the same 2 headlands most likely, or I'd do rows and then come and do the headland at the end. So yeah, they do certainly like to do it differently, but never mind. Right, that's us tidied up with the cultivating. I think I'm going to give the cultivator a bit of a wash and get it parked up. Might as well wash the case while we're here. Right, so that's the cultivator dropped off, and I might as well set up another helper to do the lime spreading that we're going to need on the field. So let's get the spreader and we can go grab some lime. Use our new handy station to fill it up. There we go. Lime is in. So I'm going to have a bit of a guess at the width and then set the helper off and running. Let's go in a little bit so we don't end up wasting lime. There we go, he is off, and I think doing the full width, so that's alright. Okay, back to the case, and let's go pick up our new planter. Helper is away, and hopefully won't run out of lime until we are back. Alright, here we are, coming back. The helper's still going with the liming. We can fill up with seed and just check in on how much he's got left and refill him if needed. Okay, so I've put 22% of some seed that we did have left over in, and for some reason this planter doesn't like the seed deposit station that we've got, so I might have to do a bit of a workaround, i.e. get some seed into a trailer and then deposit it into little pallets and then pick it up that way, which is a little bit annoying, but yeah, nonetheless that's what we're going to have to do. And I'm also going to have to upgrade the case to its full horsepower, as unfortunately the planter takes 280 horsepower and we're only at 214, so yeah, the max I think the case can go up to is 240, but it should be able to run it, as we were able to pull the Vaderstad, which needed a lot more than the case could handle. So there we go, 261 horsepower. We can get that, but we are going to have to take a £45,000 loan, additional to the £25,000 loan we did. I'm going to do that, as our next job is going to be doing grass again, when we should be able to get all the money back to repay that. So there we go, that is the case upgraded, 260 horsepower now, so it should have no problem with this planter, and It's leaving us very short of money, and obviously with a loan outstanding, but I'm confident we can do some grass work tomorrow, and that's going to pay for the loan. Now, I said I was going to do barley, and I'm probably going to do barley in both fields. That is the crop that we can plant at this time of year. So let's start over on the flat edge, I think. So there we go, barley. Let's get unfolded. Bit of a beast, this planter. Right, that is the first field planted with barley. Now, I'm not going to lie, that was a bit of a struggle. The tractor was losing traction, and also it seems like the shortage in horsepower is playing more of a part with this planter than it did with our Vadestad seeder that we rented the last time we were drilling. But nonetheless, I've been thinking, as I've been planting that field, this is the right way to go. We need the bigger equipment to start making our life easier, and all that means is we're going to have to strive for a bigger tractor, one with more horsepower, one that's more capable. But the job should be easier for this second bigger field, as it's flatter, there's no hill to it, so that is going to make our lives a bit easier. So let me just get orientated, and then I'm going to drop off the planter, quickly go and empty our trailer of soybean that's sat there, get that in the silo, and then I can grab the CLAAS trailer and get a bit of seed in there, which needs to be put into the planter, as it doesn't seem to take it from the distribution point that I placed. Right, now I'm out of the way, the lime guy can finish. Lime guy. So there we are, we could have used a smaller trailer, 19,703 litres. Now that doesn't sound like a great deal, but I know that soybean yields less than other crops, so that's not a bad thing. And also, if we wait till June, we can get £3,000 roughly per 1,000 litres. So yeah, we're going to triple what's currently sat in the trailer in terms of dollars. In the silo it goes. And that emptied rather quickly. What took a long time to harvest has emptied in a matter of seconds. Right, so I've just tested putting seed in the CLAAS tank, and as you can see, you can't really empty it into pallets, it just gets dumped on the floor. So I'm now picking up what is actually fertiliser and using the bucket to put it in the spreader now that the liming is all finished. There we go, just a bit in there. What I am going to do is use the bucket to go and put a bit of seed in the planter. Right, so we should be able to tip this in, hopefully. So tall that the front loader can't reach it, and we're having to lift the John Deere off the ground. There we go. That's all full, so let's stop lifting ourselves up on the planter. So next for the John Deere, we are going to get the spreader and that can go ahead of the planter to lay the fertiliser. Right, that's the fertiliser in there. Let's head over to what was the soybean field, and we can fertilise ahead of the planter. Right, there we go, he's actually going a bit straighter this time. So let's hop in the case and we can get our barley planted in this field. We should have a good matching width of spreader to planter. I might have to wait for the helper to do 2 runs, 2 lanes. And then after we've planted, I'm going to have to roll both fields. Oof, and that is the field all planted with barley. Was more difficult than I thought it would be, and that's just because of having to have the helper ahead fertilising. He did stop and start a couple of times, so it looked a bit odd. And he also liked to drive through the neighbour's cornfield, which I'm sure they'll be very pleased about. Additionally, it is rather heavy and rather wide, and yeah, the case is really struggling. We have put it through its paces today to try and manage pulling this planter, but as I said before, we need to move the farm forward. We need bigger equipment, so a bigger tractor is most definitely on the wish list. But yeah, we're down to $42. We're looking pretty broke. And I'm actually thinking we're not going to have a shed to house this planter. So I might just have to park it in the field for now, over here somewhere. And reminds me that because we have a new planter, we can sell our seeder. So I might dig that out and sell that. And let's just drop the planter here for now. I always seem to get trees in my way. There we go. But yep, next it's on to rolling, and here's our roller. We can get that out, and then conveniently we'll be a little bit closer to the seeder. Yeah, it's quite funny looking at the seed drill in terms of size comparison versus the planter. Okay, so having a quick look at the map, we know that it needs rolling for sure. So yeah, a job that's going to be a little bit easier for the poor old case. Let's get the roller unfolded, and we can head in and get our seeds all nicely bedded in using our quite wide roller. I think this is probably as wide as the planter. Okay, maybe not as wide as the planter, but nonetheless it's not too long a job. And then after this, I think that's it for today. We're running into what is starting to darken in autumn. And yeah, next time we have got a hard time of recouping the money and paying off that loan. We really are on the breadline now. Can't really afford anything unless we take out more loan. Well, I don't want to take out any more loan. I never normally like taking out loans, but as we were planting for a new crop season, I thought we've got to advance the equipment. Oop, that fence sometimes really catches me. Yeah, we've got to upgrade the equipment, we've got to move the farm forward, and we of course sold our Plus Dominator, so the pressure's on for next season to make enough money to buy a new harvester. So my plan is I'm probably going to be doing quite a lot of silage. Yep, let's get this rolled and then we are done. Coming up on the last slither of rolling, and that'll be both fields all rolled and the barley all bedded in nicely. But I think that is the last job of the day, so I am going to leave it there after this to get the roller parked up and a few other bits parked away. We're now in the negative for funds, so I'm probably going to sell the old seed drill, and hopefully that can just keep us afloat until we can get the grass mown, loaded up into the loading wagon, put in the silo to ferment, and then we can get that over to the BGA. But yeah, that is the priority next session, getting ourselves out of the red and back into the black. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching. Today we harvested all of our soybean, got the field turned over, and then we've got barley put in both fields. Some things haven't gone as I planned. The planter did need some additional horsepower. It was a little bit tricky for the case to handle, and then some of our helpers' work wasn't perfect, but nonetheless we made do. Right, I'm just going to park the roller here, and then when we've got some money we can get it serviced up and we'll give it a wash actually whilst we can. But yeah, hope you have enjoyed watching. A big thank you for your views, likes and subscribes. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all there's left to say is hope to see you again next time, and until then I will catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.